Howdy, this is Randy and Lisa, your Chief Memory Architects from Getaway Travel, right here in the Getaway Travel Cantina.
And we have just returned from the Valle de Guadalupe.
Located in Baja, California, Mexico.
Yes, Baja, California is in Mexico. Not sure you knew that.
But I tell you what, we got a lot to talk about on this one, so strap down your seatbelt and get ready to ride, because this is a fun trip.
Yeah, one of our top 3. So stay tuned. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, go ahead and do it, because we got some great things coming your way.
Punch that subscribe button now.
Boy, flying into San Diego was the way to go on this one. We got a reasonably priced airfare, and our partners with Lomas Travel, they met us at the airport, and we had transportation that took us to the border, actually across the border. And let me just talk for a second about the border. We were a little apprehensive about sending our clients across the border, because you know how many crazy things there are out in the news about the borders now.
Wait. But you know what? Just as we suspected, fake news. It was fake news.
So we got to the border, and literally we were in a vehicle with a driver, professional driver, and it took us, maybe 15, 20 minutes to get across. We never got out of our vehicle. You don't have to get out. We didn't have to show passports or anything. And a lot of people weren't, I think they kind of randomly do that, but, no getting out of your car, no walking across the border like we thought. And, it really was a breeze.
It was, much smoother than what I expected, as she says. One of the reasons we chose to fly into San Diego versus flying into Tijuana, and you can do either or. One, the cost of the airfare was much cheaper flying into San Diego.
Yes.
Number 2, in order to get to Tijuana from Houston, Texas, you have to fly Mexico City, or you have to fly Cancun, and then change planes, and then hop over to Tijuana.
And we're fortunate enough that United flies direct to San Diego, so we had a little over a 3-hour flight there, and it wasn't too bad.
No, everything was just as smooth could be. So that apprehension is totally gone, and we are going to put 100% of our support behind the El Cielo Winery and Boutique Hotel, located in Valle de Guadalupe.
Lomas Travel, that's in Baja, California.
Lomas Travel is our preferred partner in Cancun, Cozumel, Riviera Maya area, and now they're our preferred vendor as well down in San Diego for Valle de Guadalupe.
Yeah, and so after we crossed the border, you drive along the wall. So this was our first time to actually see the infamous wall. The
infamous wall.
We drove past it for a while, and then you drive. I mean, the view is so beautiful. It is gorgeous.
All along the Baja, Mexico coastline, all the way down to Ensenada. Yeah. It was gorgeous.
I took 100 pictures, I bet. I mean, in videos, I rode in the front seat so I could take pictures, and oh my gosh, it was just one of the most gorgeous drives. It didn't seem like it took very long to get there. It's supposed to take like an hour and a half to 2 hours, but really, honestly, and we stopped on the way.
Well, we stopped about halfway between Tijuana and Valle de Guadalupe.
Yes,
and
it was in Puerto Nueva. Puerto Nueva.
And we ate at a really cool little restaurant called Casa de la Gosta. And which means House of the Lobster, and we had some of the best lobster we've ever had.
Oh my gosh, it was great. And they bring it out, and I think it must be all you can eat, because they brought out so many pieces. I had 2 lobsters. We were kind of hungry.
You had 2 halves.
Did I? Okay.
Yeah, so you had 1 full lobster, but this lobster tail, the full lobster was probably well over a pound.
Yeah,
well over a pound.
Randy loved the hot sauce there too.
And the salsa there was unbelievable.
Yeah, it's just a little Mexican town, but oh my gosh, it was so nice. And so then we drove on to El Cielo. We were in a nice, comfy Suburban, and we drove again, by the ocean and then pulled off towards Ensenada. No, actually Ensenada.
At Ensenada is where we made a turn and we went up into the mountains and through the mountains.
Right. Ensenada was also a very beautiful place.
Yes. And we didn't actually go into the town of Ensenada, just the outskirts. Right. But once we got driving through the mountains, the views were just gorgeous. It's a desert type atmosphere until you get further up into the valley or down into the valley. And the valley is, I mean, it kind of reminded me of being in the Mediterranean, like when we were in the southern part of Italy.
It did, yes.
Or even the southern part of France. I mean, because there was lavender fields, there was citrus, there was lots of olive trees growing. And then, of course, the vineyards. But, and then when we arrived at the gates at El Cielo,
my gosh,
as we pull in,
so magnificent.
It is.
Oh, it is. It's just stately.
Beautiful. What Senor Martinez and Senora Dolores and Senor Gustavo, what they have built here, and they named it El Cielo, which means the heavens. The heavens. They actually have. They have built the heavens in Guadalupe. Valley.
Oh my gosh. It was magnificent. From arriving and checking in all the way through the property and checking out. It was something to die for. So
stay with us. We're going to come back here in a minute and tell you more about the accommodations. But right now it's very, very important because we don't want you to miss any of our videos. So please punch that subscribe button so that you won't miss any of our videos.
Punch it now.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about accommodations.
Yes.
This property is so unique in the fact that it's all little villas. And the villas are configured to where they can be broken up into hotel rooms and or sold as the whole villa.
Right.
So the whole villa is called a residence. And in the residence, basically you have a master suite downstairs.
Right.
With full living area, dining room that seats up to 8.
8, you're right.
Up to 8. Full bath.
Yeah, full kitchen.
And full kitchen.
Right.
Huge patio.
There's even a fireplace.
Fire pit and a fireplace inside, but also a fire pit on the patio. And it fronts one of the well, most of them front one of the lakes.
Yes, and they have an outdoor eating area as well.
This is true.
Yes.
Okay. Now, then you have it's called a presidential villa.
Yes.
And the presidential villa,
it's a little different.
It's a little bit different in the fact that it's got you enter into the ground floor, and on the ground floor it has the master suite that we just described with the full kitchen, the full living room, the dining room, the fireplace, the outdoor, all of that, plus a second bedroom on the bottom floor.
Right. All right, so you would want to stay there maybe if you had less people going, but you all wanted to stay together.
Correct.
I mean, right?
Yes.
You wanted more space for the group to be able to hang out in.
Right.
Right.
Then you have, now if you just take the bottom floor of a residence.
Yes, which is the den, the kitchen, the eating area, and a bedroom.
And a bedroom. Then you have the master suite.
Yes. Okay, and they sell that separately. So if you didn't need the 2 upstairs bedrooms, they're all individual. So you walk in one door, and then there's 3 doors. Or you can open it all up and have it as one unit.
Correct. Then they have the junior suite double, which are typically on the 2nd floor. And the junior suite double is a full junior suite with 2 queen-size beds.
Right.
Okay, and then the junior suite is the same upstairs configuration, but it has a king bed and a large sitting area with couch and chairs.
Right.
But both, whether it's the junior suite or the junior suite double, both can accommodate up to 4 people. Because in the junior suite that has the king bed, the pull-out sofa also, it pulls out and sleeps 2.
Yeah.
So you can put 4 in either one.
Right.
But as you can tell, the accommodations are very luxurious. The amenities that they have are just like any other 5-star resort are going to have, with the blow dryer. They have an espresso maker, not just a coffee, not just coffee, but espresso as well. Also has a mini bar,
right.
which is additional cost of course, because this is not all-inclusive. This is not all-inclusive. Right. This is EP or pay as you go.
Yes, and you kind of wouldn't want it to be all-inclusive because you're out and about. There are so many things outside of this resort to do. You want to hang out there, but there's really nice restaurants all around. And a lot of wineries. Well,
and there's 2 restaurants on the property, which we'll tell you about later when we talk about bars and restaurants.
Yeah, so I just want to say that we really enjoyed. We stayed in a
we were in a junior
suite, which that room was super nice. It was super just cozy.
And a nice layout.
A nice layout. There was a sofa and a couple of chairs and a desk and a king-size bed. And my most favorite part of that room was the patio. It has a large patio, and every single morning I would wake up and go out and just, you know, you can hear the roosters there, the roosters crowing. Or at night, I would go out and look at the stars because you can see all the stars. You can see the constellation. You can see the planets. It is just so amazing. It's so far out that it is just, you feel like you're definitely in God's land.
Well, what got me was, and I wished I could have videoed or at least got audio on this, because that first night when we was there, you looked up at the sky and your exact words were, "This is just dreamy."
Yeah, it really was.
You know what?
So dark.
That probably should be their tagline.
Yeah.
El Cielo, Valle de Guadalupe, because it's just dreamy.
Dreamy. Oh, gosh,
it is phenomenal.
It is.
So I can't wait for us to book and design your next El Cielo Valle de Guadalupe experience.
Yes.
Because it's phenomenal.
It's one of a kind, and it's definitely a bucket list trip.
Now,
put it on your list.
And I'm going to say one more time, you don't want to miss our videos because they're going to be coming out every week. And you know what? Punch that subscribe button now.
Yeah, especially if you like Mexico. I'm going to say one thing. This next year, we're going to see more and more of Mexico. So if you're interested in some of the nooks and crannies, the
off
places,
the beaten path.
Off the beaten path
yes.
places in Mexico, definitely subscribe.
Absolutely.
The food in this area, the Valle de Guadalupe, is extraordinary. There's a lot of seafood.
A lot of seafood, but a lot of farm to table.
Oh yes, it is really awesome.
And one of the restaurants, there's 2 restaurants at El Cielo.
El Cielo, yes.
One of them is Polaris.
Yes.
Which they call their avant-garde restaurant, which is their fine dining.
Mm-hmm.
And it's right above the lobby,
yes.
The current lobby.
Right.
Then the second restaurant at El Cielo,
Latitude 32,
is called Latitude 32.
Yes.
And it's out in the vineyard.
Yeah.
So I mean, it took Lisa and I walked to it one morning, and it took us about 10 or 12 minutes.
Yeah, from our room. Yeah, and they have the just the prettiest balcony or porch area where you can sit in the winery and have a beautiful view with a beautiful meal.
And the Latitude 32, just so you know, it is something that they created, and it's called Baja Yucatan Fusion.
Yeah. Because
Senora Dolores and Senor Martinez and Senor Gustavo, they are from the Yucatan.
Yeah.
But now they're in Baja, and so they told the chef, we want to take some of the dishes from the Yucatan, but use what the typical ingredients are from Baja and create this fusion. Yeah. And let me tell you, they hit a home run with it because the food was amazing.
It was so good, from the appetizers to the desserts, and then the wine with each course. It was awesome.
Yes, and so to give you kind of an idea, they eat some duck, they eat quail, beef, of course, lamb. Lamb is very prevalent, and then
lots
fish,
of seafood.
Fish, and shrimp and lobster.
Yep.
But it's man, you foodies out there,
you're gonna love this.
Get ready, because you're gonna love going to El Cielo. Not only dining at their restaurants, but also dining at some of the other restaurants in the area.
Yeah, we had the opportunity to go off property and visit a couple of the best restaurants in the area.
I don't remember the name of the one that we went and had breakfast at. Do you?
Yeah, it's La Cucina de Donna Estela.
Oh. It was such a great breakfast. I mean, if you love chicharrones, the chicharrones, and it was made in like a papusa. And man, was it good.
Oh my gosh.
And then the chorizo.
Chorizo. Oh my, and eggs. Oh my gosh, it was so good. They had some of the freshest fruit.
Yes.
It was amazing. I mean, they just kept, we were fortunate enough. We were on a trip with some other agents and the owners of El Cielo. And so they spared no expense.
No.
You know, we ate the best, and we tried a whole lot of different things so that we could experience it and tell you about it. So I'm telling you, these are some of the best meals we've ever had.
But what's crazy is, we drove like down these dirt roads up into the mountain, and and you think, where in the heck are we going? And then you pull up, and there is this, just beautiful Mexican type home, or you think it's a home, and then you walk in and it's just this restaurant with dining dining tables everywhere, and then a patio that they were putting new shade cloth up on to where you could dine out.
They opened this restaurant and it was such a huge success. They added on, to the initial room that they had, and then they added on a whole different room. And when I say room, these are huge rooms. So, and they said, we got to get there early, because if we don't, we'll have to stand in line.
Yeah, for like 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah, it's a lot. So you have to go early in the morning to get a table, but it is some of the best Mexican breakfast you will ever have.
Yes. And then we also had the opportunity one afternoon to have lunch, and we ate at the Finca Altozano.
Oh my
gosh. Which Finca means farm. Altozano is the family that owns the farm, and it was true farm to table.
Farm to table. Oh my gosh, we had some of the, for appetizers, we had squash. We had
Brussels sprouts.
Brussels sprouts. We had mushrooms, and they were all done so nicely. And we had all kinds of main dishes as well. I can't tell you too much about those because I was so full.
They had short rib. They had some pescado, some fish.
Yeah.
There was a lot of good choices.
Oh my gosh! And this place, just the ambiance of it. It's like going to a really nice farm to table restaurant here in Texas. Really, the architecture and the outdoors, it reminds me of something outside of the Austin area.
Yeah, down in the hill country.
Yeah, down in the hill country. It was so cool. You wouldn't have realized that you were in Mexico eating at this restaurant, but it has some of the best cuisine ever.
I tell you what, this old Texican right here, I felt right at home, and the food was amazing. So when we get ready to design your getaway to El Cielo, we're going to include these restaurants, and I would highly suggest you keep them on the itinerary, because they will blow you away.
Yeah, they will.
So do us a big favor and punch that subscribe button right now.
Yeah, and we'll be back to tell you more about some of the wineries.
Some of the activities.
Yeah.
Yes. So stay tuned.
You will not want for things to do in this area.
There are so many different activities to choose from. From zip lines to golf to deep sea fishing.
ATVs.
ATVs. You can go into Ensenada. There's so much to do there.
Yeah.
But those you can do just about anywhere. Yeah. So let us just tell you about some of the fun activities that they have in and around the El Cielo, because you really don't even have to go very far for these experiences.
Yeah.
And
there's over 100 wineries in this area.
Yes.
Within 30 minutes, I think they said, of El Cielo.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And two that we want to bring up. One of them is called Domico.
Domico. Oh
and
my gosh.
Been, I think it opened in 1972. In the area, but it originally opened up in Spain, in Spain.
Okay, and the first thing when you go in there, you see the history of winemaking. They actually have some of the old machinery. You go through caves where wine bottles are stored. You get to experience the senses of wine. Yes, smelling,
all touching. The different notes. Yeah. All the different notes that come out in the winemaking process for the different types of wines. they have different samples where you can kind of smell and really take in that note.
Yeah, it is really cool. It was very, very interesting. And then we did wine tasting there also.
We did, and the wines there were very, very good.
Oh, so good.
They were very good, and they had a really nice wine tasting room.
Yeah.
So Domico is one that we would recommend. The other one was Bruma. And Bruma was a very interesting because it was designed and owned by an artist.
Yes. And so it was a lot of metal and rust and
reclaimed wood.
Reclaimed wood, yes.
And just very unique in its architecture.
Yeah.
And it was all underground. And it was very, very cool.
Yeah.
And their wines, they had a red wine that had some of the most unusual notes in it. That, I mean, when I was drinking it, and I went, okay, I taste this. Well, wait a minute, I also taste this. And it had a different texture to it.
Kind of caught you off guard.
It caught you totally off guard because it's not a typical notes or textures that you would normally have.
And their wine tasting was a little bit different too. It was just, you walk in and you walk through an area and they give you a little bit of history, and then you go into this other area and there's tables and they're doing wine tasting all around the room.
And this is a new winery. They only opened in 2016.
Yes, and then I think there was probably a restaurant and a wine bar there too, but we didn't see that.
Right.
Yeah.
But then of course El Cielo.
Oh my gosh.
Has an amazing winery with fantastic tours.
Yes.
And different tasting experiences.
Yes. One of the things that we did is we were fortunate enough, again, because of who we were with, to have a dinner down in a wine cellar.
In the wine cave.
The wine cave.
Right.
And it was kind of Dias de Muertos.
Dias de Muertos.
I never can pronounce that well. But themed, oh my gosh, the ambiance, the food, the wine, it was perfect.
And then, but also, one of the highlights for me, because this was so cool, one afternoon, we were down in the same wine cave, and we got to blend our own wine, and then label it, and then bring it back with us, our own wine.
Yeah.
And that was a fun experience, because you got to, it was just very interesting.
Yeah.
And fun to do.
Yeah.
They also have a wine experience where they pair wines with different types of chocolates.
Right.
So many experiences that you can do.
They don't have a spa yet on property, but they're building one.
Coming soon.
Now you can have order massage in your room. They have yoga instructors that'll come on property. They have just all kinds of things that they do to just tailor your experience to you.
Yes. And so we were there for 3 nights.
They have a pool too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were there.
And they're building a larger pool.
Yes.
But we were there for 3 nights. And we were up at 6 a.m. in the morning, and we didn't go to bed till 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning every night.
Yeah, because we were hanging out at the fire pit.
We were hanging out at the fire pit and doing lots of fun stuff.
Marshmallows.
But I'm going to tell you, this is a great trip for 3, 4, 5 nights, maybe even 6 nights, unless you just want to go and kind of on a sabbatical. Yeah. To where you can just go and collect your thoughts. Maybe you're writing a book. Maybe you're writing a new song if you're a songwriter.
Musician, yeah.
I mean, this is a place that I can guarantee you this. It will allow you to release from everything and lay back and let your mind do the things that if you're a songwriter, you can write songs, whatever.
Yeah, well, I just have to say that like I said in the beginning, we didn't have enough time. I think I said that. If I didn't, I should have. We just didn't have enough time. We had our days packed, and I really wanted to just do that. I just really wanted to be able to sit on the patio and just think with a clear mind. And the roosters, that was one of my favorite things about it, is you can just hear the roosters in the morning. Oh my gosh, as the sun comes up. And because it's on the West Coast, there's a time difference, so I was up early every morning and watched the sunrise, listened to the roosters, and that was a highlight for me.
So, we can't wait to design your next El Cielo getaway.
But definitely don't miss this one. This is a bucket list trip. Don't miss it.
So, if you're looking for something to plan for Christmas, this is a great Christmas gift.
Yeah, Valentine's Day. Oh my gosh, it would be a perfect Valentine's Day gift.
So, get off your butt, call us, email us, whatever it takes, but let us design this for you, because you need to get over to El Cielo and check out what we're talking about, because it's too cool to pass up.
Yes, and subscribe to our channel, because we got a lot more fun, extraordinary places to see.
Right, and coming at the end of this month, we will be starting a YouTube live show every week. So we look forward to joining us there.